channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a video on how to contour. I'm not really going to go into depth into exactly what products I use. I'm just going to focus on where to put the light concealer, the dark concealer, and then setting powders. And then after that, doing the powder contouring. If you don't really wear a lot of makeup, you can probably get away with just using the powder contouring, but I know some people like to do both, so I usually do both. I'm just gonna go ahead and elaborate more on that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the first product that I like to use, oh, FYI, my foundation is already set. I moisturized, primed, and then put my foundation on. So now I'm going to be doing the cream contouring. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my light concealer, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in all the points that I want to brighten up on my face. So I usually do my under eye. And do a couple dots on the tops of my nose. Do a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on my chin. And I take my sponge, and it's wet by the way, and I just start kind of patting it all in. Brightens up my under eyes. And then for the next thing I'm going to use, I'm going to be putting on the darker concealer, and that's gonna go kind of around my whole face. So I kind of like to make a C right here, and then after that I don't stop there. You go ahead and bring it down and cut your jaw. Same thing on the other side. You want to make a C. Don't stop there. You bring it down and cut. I'll be doing the nose last just so I can kind of elaborate on that a little bit more. And then I go ahead and use my sponge again to go ahead and blend it in. I like to keep the product from here up. So try not to bring it down, or that's gonna eliminate that illusion that you're trying to sculpt your face. So make sure you, as you're kind of patting it in, you're kind of going upwards. I like to use kind of the side of the contour stick and just kind of bring it down. And then on the tip of my nose, I usually do kind of like a V. And then I use kind of a smaller little fluffy brush, and I just blend it in. And you want to drag it down kind of all the way from your brow bone about here. See? Looks cute. Alright, so then after that is when we want to kind of set everything, and then you want to do a pressed powder on top, and then we can start with the powder contouring. Alright, so now we can start with the setting of the concealers. I'm going to use a pink setting powder for under my eyes. I just kind of like the way it brightens it up a little bit more versus just using a translucent. And with that one, I like to take, again, a sponge. This one is dry, and really press the product under my eyes. I don't know about you guys, but my makeup tends to crease right here on the sides of my nose. So you really want to, you know, press that product into it. Same thing when you're doing your foundation. If you're using a sponge, it makes it a lot easier to get it into those spots. Wasn't coming out. Okay, and then to kind of give a more sculpted look, I like to go from my ear to the corner of my mouth. So weird to look at yourself like this. Sometimes you think, how the hell is this gonna look nice? But I promise when it's all done, it looks amazing. So again, from my little piercing right here to the corner of my mouth. With a lot of these things too, you just kind of have to practice and practice and practice. It took me a long time to get to, I guess, be the confident makeup artist I am. I'm still not 100% confident. There's always things, you know, we can work on. So, you know, don't give up. Keep trying. When you have some spare time, just practice. You know, get to know your products. Get to know what works best for your skin. Not everyone's skin is the same. You know, you could be dry, you can be combination, oily, all those things. And there's still a way to be able to do all of these things using the proper products based on your skin. So if you guys have any questions on what I could recommend, then, you know, feel free to leave those in the comments. So while this bakes on my face, I'm gonna go ahead and go brush my teeth because I was having coffee and I can just taste that in my mouth still, and boom. All right, I'm back. So now that that's been sitting for a little bit, I am going to go ahead and use my pressed powder to set everything. The reason you want to do this is that way when you go through and put the powder contouring products on, it doesn't stick to the wetness of the foundation and the cream concealers. So I go ahead and just kind of take a little fluffy guy and just start. Doesn't look so crazy anymore. Alright, so next we're going to do the powder contouring. I have my Sculpted Face contouring palette. I got it when I worked at Ulta. It was, I don't remember how much it cost, but it works pretty well. It has a lot of colors that you need. You can see which ones are my favorites. But the cool thing is that you kind of don't want to use something that is extremely warm yet. You want to kind of still have some type of neutral brown in there, because then you go over on top of it with your bronzer that maybe has the shimmer, that maybe has a little bit more warmth to it. But right now we're going to use I'm gonna go ahead and use this dark one, and I'm gonna use two different brushes just because I want to make sure I can focus it where I want. I have this kind of pointy-ish rounded little guy, and I'm just gonna lightly dip into it. Start with a little and then slowly build up, because when you get too much then you can't take it off, so you can always build. So then you kind of just want to follow where, you know, you were contouring before. The darker color, I'm literally just going to focus it right here, just because I want my cheekbones to stand out. And as you can see, it's not super warm. It's almost kind of like a neutral color, neutral brown. But it just kind of helps sculpt the face. And then you go back with your colored bronzer to kind of just add a little bit more life to your face. So again, I'm going to grab a little bit more and just kind of dust it on my forehead. And then I'm going to use that small brush that I had used earlier for the sides of my nose and just get very little tiny bit. And you just kind of want to feather like very lightly with your hand. Just lightly get it in there. And see, look, I pressed a little too hard and got some on there. That's okay, because you can always kind of go back to with your brush that you were using your setting powder with and kind of just, you know, go over it and it helps just blend it back. See? Now I like to take the same brush and I'm using, you know, something a little bit lighter. I can kind of bring it down my cheeks a little bit more. And remember, you want to stay up on this higher part of your face. You don't want to go down here, because then that's going to erase all of that hard work you did. And I kind of like to smile a little bit and see how it forms these little balls. And then I just like to kind of go right underneath those. Alright, so that's kind of all I use for this. So now I'm going to use my bronzer that has like a little bit of color to it, and my highlighter. And then we'll do a blush last. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get those out. Alright, we're back. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my bronzer. This one has a little bit more warmer tones to it, a little bit of shimmer, and that's what's going to give me more of a glow. Using the other sculpting palette, that one just kind of helps you form the shape you are trying to achieve, and that's why the colors that I used are a lot more neutral. I mean, you could still see them on my face, but I feel like it still needs like a little pop of color. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my bronzer, and I just go over all the spots that I put the darker colors on. This one you can go a little more crazy with. The other one you don't want to do too much, or else I feel like your face starts to look kind of gray, but this one just helps bring it to life. And down the sides of my nose. I don't really necessarily do all the contouring and stuff to make my face look a certain shape. I kind of just like that it makes me look tan. I don't really like to put my face in the sun. Cool, see? It gives you. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my highlighter. Let's dust that brush off a little bit. And I'm going to use more of like a warm tone highlighter too, just because I feel like my face, my shadows, my bronzer is a lot warmer. And that I just kind of focus on putting it on the high points of my face. So I'll do my cheekbone, the top of my nose. I like to do my lip, and then I'll do like a little bit right underneath my brow bone, and then once I use it all, then I go ahead and kind of like tap a little bit on my chin and forehead. Ooh. Where's my little fluffy guy? So use my little tiny one again, and then I just kind of put a little bit under my brow bone and just kind of blend it in. Gives it a nice little glow. I feel like it gives me some color. And then last but not least, the blush. I'm gonna take a little bit of that least off of my lip so I'm not eating it. And I'm kind of doing just like a, I don't know, like it's almost like a brick color is what it reminds me of, but I just like how it looks on my face. It's called Raizin. It's a MAC blush. But I just smile and put it where those balls that I was talking about earlier, that your face forms. Yeah, put it on those. So I like to kind of put a lot of blush on at first just because it's like, I feel like it kind of falls off the easiest during the day, but then to blend it, just the brush that I used to put my setting powder on, or not the setting powder, excuse me, the pressed powder on, I kind of just go over all of it so it blends it all together. And I feel like it just gives it a nice blend. I guess all I have left is to put my mascara on and choose a lip color and my setting spray. So I think I'll use the setting spray first. And after doing that, anywhere where you can see a little bit of like the water spotlets, I just use my sponge and I pat it in. Pat, lightly. My hair's a little puffy, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this stuff called Signature Hair Water. And I kind of like to spray it in just to kind of refresh my hair, and almost when it starts to get a little too wild from the day before, I guess, sleeping in it. Oh God. Just helps give it some shine and kind of tame it back down. This is good if you like spray your hair, or not spray your hair, curl your hair and it's a little too curly. You want to take it down. It's from Kristen S. Hair water. I like it. And it smells really good, actually. See? Kind of de-poofed my hair. Made it nice and shiny. And my makeup looks cute. Alright, so I guess you guys can let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions about anything, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'll make sure I put down what I used. And I hope this was helpful. I'm really excited about having these videos up. I appreciate all the love and support I've been getting and the ideas for what to do next. So I just want to say thank you again. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.